So, you would like to know how to do object pooling in Unity. Maybe you want to reuse monsters, items, bullets, or any other objects. In that case, you are at the right place. I'm CoreyCode, and let's jump right in. Object pooling is an amazing design pattern. We reuse game elements to achieve greater speed, and it's straightforward to implement. Object pooling can offer a significant performance boost in situations where the cost of creating objects is high, and the rate of creating and destroying objects is also high. In this case, objects can be frequently reused, and each reuse can save a significant amount of time. To stay true to the topic, I will reuse my object spawning tutorial as a starting point. You will find a link for that tutorial down in the description. In this setup, I have a camera, lights, some obstacles, 3 spawners, a level boundary to despawn objects, 3 wall prefabs. When I run it, you can see how the objects are created and destroyed. We could have one pool, but then we need to search for the different type of objects. Rather, I will create a more flexible solution which can handle multiple pools, one for each type of wall. I will create a new empty game object and I will name it to Object Pool. I will add the new script called Object Pooler. Let's double click it to open it. I will create a new enum called Pool Types so we can identify the different balls for this example. I will name the 3 types: basketball, football ball, and bowling ball. I will add system serializable so we are able to use this enum in the editor. I will add one more class called Object Pool, and I add the following public properties. Pool type, so we can set which type of objects will be stored in this pool. A game object called prefab object, which will hold the prefab we use to initialize this type of balls. A queue of game objects called object queue, where we will store all the objects when we don't need them. The queue type is a FIFO, which is an abbreviation of first in, first out. It simply means an object first placed in the queue will be the first to be taken out. I will add system serializable for this class, so we are able to use this in the editor as well. Now we are ready to create the main course, the object pooler. I will add only one public property, an array of object pools called object pools to store all the pools. In the start method, I will initialize all the object pools. In case you need to initialize a lot of objects at start time, you may want to pre-create some in here, but that is out of scope for this tutorial. I will add a private method called findByPoolType with the parameter of pool type and the return value of object pool. This method will be used to pick the right pool. I will create a local variable to store the result, then I iterate through the available pools. When I find the right pool, I set the result variable and return it. I will add the public method addToPool with parameters of pool type and game object named item. I deactivate the object first. I use the findByPoolType to pick the right pool, and I use enqueue to add our ball to the end of the object queue. That was simple. Let's see how to retrieve them. I will create a new public function called getFromPool with the pool type as a parameter. I will find the right pool with our findByPoolType method. However, you may have already realized it is possible the selected object pool's queue is empty. Maybe because we are just starting, or we run out of objects to reuse. So let's first check if we have available objects, and if yes, then return them by using the queue. However, if there are no objects in the queue, Then we create a new object from the prefab objects provided and return it. I will select the object pool game object and I will populate the object pooler script with 3 ball types and the related prefabs. I create a new script called ball and I only add one public variable called ball type. And I will set up all the 3 prefabs with the new script. I will open up the spawner script so I can modify it using the new object pooler. I will add the new private property called object pooler for storing a shorthand to the object pooler and a public one for the object type called pool type. I will create a start method and I will set up the new object pooler. In the spawn method, I will replace the instantiate with the getFromPool method. And I update the position and rotation. And let's not forget to set the new spawned object active. I will not need anymore the spawn item. I will set up each ball spawner with the right ball type. I open up the despawner script. I remove the old destroy other game object and replace it with a new script. First, I will need to get the object pooler the same way how we did in the spawner. And then, instead of destroying the ball, we use the add-to-pool method with the parameters of the collider's game object and the ball's own type. Let's see that in action. You can see how the objects are disabled when they are not in use and reused when needed. Please subscribe to get notified of new videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time.